Hello and welcome to Cutter Farms. We're here today kicking off a new series on the Flint Hills, Iowa map by JS Modding. And we're also going to be playing with the Precision Farming DLC on this map. And so we're going to have lots of new things to dive into in this series, lots of new equipment. And in keeping with the lots of new things, and partly because we're using the Precision Farming DLC, I've chosen not to use the default starting farm on this map. This is an awesome farm setup. I really like this grain leg setup, but we've decided to do a little bit of a farm build. So rather than starting on the default farm here by field 9, we came down here to field 21. And if you look at the map here, you can actually see that there's an area that looks like there should be a farm here, but it was really just part of the field. So we're going to go ahead and build out our farm right here in this section. And my original intent was to do that on camera, but due to some technical difficulties, we'll just do a farm tour today, as I was not able to capture most of the building. And so you can see here, field 21, fairly large field, 123.87 hectare. And you've also got field 16, 25, and 26 that I decided to buy right in this area. And looking at the expected yield potential and the soil distribution on these fields with the precision farming, these are really good fields. So we're going to see higher than average yield potentials, especially on field 16, it looks like. And so that's going to be a lot of fun to play around with here. So let's jump on down to the farm. So we're down here on the farm. This is a build that I did to actually closely represent a farm that I worked on for about a year in real life. I've worked on a couple of different farms over the years, and we had a very U-shaped yard. We had a couple of big sheds and then a smaller workshop that was facing its back to the road, kind of like this, with a grain bin site, and we are going to be running hogs on this map. So we've got this large hog enclosure here, and so we're going to be playing around with those mechanics a little bit, primarily because with the Precision Farming DLC, I really wanted a chance to play with all of the mechanics of the Precision Farming DLC, including spreading manure on our fields. And so we will be focusing on the liquid manure here, liquid slurry, for this playthrough to kind of get a feel for the precision farming mechanics. I do have the new RTK shed here to see how that affects workers. And then we do have a really cool feed grinder for making our pig food. So we'll be playing with that. I've done a fair bit of customization to this mod. So a huge shout out to the members of our Discord server who are helping me find some miscellaneous mods to play around with. We are going to switch this out with the new gator that just got released by Black Sheep Modding later today. And of course, we've got to try out this new TLX 9000 semi. So we went ahead and picked one of those up. And then we've also got the new Demco trailers that just came out not too long ago. So we're going to be running that for our main grain carrying system. And then if we hop over into these sheds, I've already purchased the bulk of our equipment. And so one of the big things that I want to try in this series is a lot of new equipment that's come out. And I just haven't had an opportunity to try some of this larger equipment. And so we've got the 8960 here that was recently released by Sid Modding. We've got this large Balzer grain tank. This is 2550 bushel, so this is going to hold a lot of grain. This will be fun to try. I think this was an edit that R.D. Allen released. We've got a couple of S790s right now. We are going to be doing a lot of harvesting with the size of fields that we have, and so we hooked ourselves up with matching combines. Two 16-row corn heads, and then two 45-foot drapers with the air system. We are going to be running some Great Plains tillage equipment. So LR Modding has a fair amount of Great Plains equipment that he's released. And so we've got the turbo chisel here, which is going to act as our plow. And then we do have this field cultivator, which is pretty big, which we're going to use in the spring to prepare the seed beds before planting. And so speaking of planting, let's jump on over here to the other shed and take a look at some of our other equipment here. So we do have the 8RX because I'm absolutely in love with this tractor. So we had to have one good modern tractor on the farm. We are running a DB60 here for our main planter. We may look at upgrading this or adding another one at some point, depending on where we take things in the series. But I also wanted to give out this new seed drill a try that was also released, I believe, by LR Modding here recently on his Facebook page. And then we do have the 2510 applicator here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for yet. I might mod it to use with anhydrous. Anhydrous is supported by default on this map. And we've got the an 8400 series tractor here. This is going to be a good smaller. It's a pretty large tractor, but it's going to be our kind of smaller tractor. We'll probably use it for planting. We do have the Demco mounts set up on it, so we can put some extra liquid tanks on here. Given the changes with how fertilizer works in the precision farming DLC, it's going to be interesting to see how we approach that during planting versus at other points during the year. And then we do have the 4940 that was released by Custom Modding. We did get the dry applicator here, the spreader, to help us to be able to do lime. And then we obviously need a sprayer for spraying weeds. At a minimum, we may do some fertilizing with it, but I think based on how the Precision Farming DLC is set up, by the time we spread our liquid manure from the pigs and then apply fertilizer during planting, we may not need to go back out there to do fertilizing, which is going to be awesome because that gets to be kind of a repetitive job. I did go with the in-game Undworth seed tender here just because I didn't want to use a fifth wheel model. I wanted a tow behind because of the particular truck we're using. I do have the nurse trailer here that Perma's Modding released. I think it's an edit of one that Next Gen Mapping had put together at some point. This does support the manure system, which I think I have disabled at the moment, but that's something that we're going to look at adding back in here at some point soon. And then I just can't help myself. This is just such an awesomely textured fuel trailer. And so even though we've moved on from our Millennial Farmer playthrough for the moment, this trailer is just too awesome not to use as our fuel trailer. And then speaking of our truck, we do have the NMC trucks installed. And so we're going to be starting out with this Raptor variant. Should be a nice truck to use here. So I'm really excited to give that a shot. And then over here, I don't think I have any equipment in here, but this is just going to be our workshop for working on equipment. And it's appropriately decaled out with our John Deere logos, so it seemed to fit very well with this farm. And then going back to our animals for just a second, we do have hogs set up already. This wall is really tall. If I jump up here, you can kind of see them. In fact, I think I can even go in here. We started with 50, and so we will be working with our hogs here. My experience with them in the game and in real life is that they are going to multiply fairly quickly here. And so while we're sitting at 50 at the moment, I expect that there will be quite a few more coming soon. And so we're going to be working on making sure that we keep them fed. Since we do have seasons on, it is modified the feed needed for them. But I have also further modified this mix wagon to really focus on feed as we made it, which was primarily corn-based, with soybean being the protein. And then at times we would use wheat, barley, or even some oat product to change the mixture up a little bit. But I think for this playthrough, given that we are playing in Iowa, it's going to be primarily a corn bean mixture. And so we've got that going. And then this little HUD that pops up when I get near the mix wagon is really cool. That is a mod that I found on the mod network, or was pointed to by a member of the Discord channel. So that's going to come in really handy when we're trying to fill the mix wagon up and not put too much in when we're outside of it potentially. So with that, we're going to wrap up this farm tour episode here, and we will be getting an official start on this map tomorrow in the next episode. And I'm really looking forward to trying out a lot of the new feature functionality. I'm really looking forward to experiencing a bunch of these different mods that we've installed here. Given that this is such a large map, we're going to have a lot of need for big equipment. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to try out the new precision farming DLC. That's all for today. Kedirk, out.